Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for joining me here today as we get to talk about one of my favorite subjects, comic books. My name is Jose. I love comic books. I love talking about them. I love sharing them with you. Feel free to follow me on social media if you would like. Links are in the description below. I've also posted a link to the Marvel fan site that'll have plot synopsis and character bios for this issue. So, we finished the Dark Phoenix saga. Cyclops has left. And so, in between issues comes XMen Annual 4. So we've got this from 1980. We got this cover here. We have Doctor Strange guest starring. We've got Wolverine, Storm down here, Colossus, and down here we see Professor X and Kitty Pryde. Trying to stop the X-Men from getting taken by this monster. John Romita Jr. and Bob McLeod do the cover. And they also do the internals. So this is technically John Romita Jr.'s first X-Men work. So, Chris Claremont is our writer. And as I mentioned, John Romita Jr. and Bob McLeod are your artists, with Tom Rozakowski as the letterer. Glynis Wein was Len. Is it Wein? Is it maybe Len? Maybe it's Glynis Wein. Len Wein's wife. They were divorced in the 80s, but and then Louise Jones eventually becomes Louise Simonson. So, and so. Here we have Kurt Wagner, or Wagner, he is German. And so the title of our story, Nightcrawler's Inferno. And he's like, what the? And it's his birthday party. And he is apparently turning 21. So he was a very, we forget that there's a particular age, which is going to bring me to Kitty and Colossus in a minute here. But here we got Wolverine. We got Wolverine here, Colossus, Kitty Pryde, and Storm, and Xavier. We will just assume a little bit of time has passed since Scott left. Just a little bit, maybe a week or so. And realize life has to continue. So... and everybody is wearing civilian clothes except Nightcrawler, who's still wearing his uniform. So everybody sings happy birthday to him, and he's like, my friends, my dear friends, I don't know what to say. And he says, don't say anything, Kurt, says Storm. She gives him a kiss on the cheek. Just be happy. I will, Storm. Ororo, I feel so ashamed. I was feeling sorry for myself, thinking you all had forgotten. And Colossus says, forgotten? Ha, we've been planning this for a week. And how do you say? Tovarisk? So, look at Wolverine eating this turkey leg or something. It's gigantic. So that's why you had me running errands. I never suspected a thing. That was the idea, fella. Now, I want you to take a look here and see that Wolverine is giving Nightcrawler a picture of himself, meaning Wolverine is giving Nightcrawler a picture of Wolverine. Is that not the most Wolverine thing? And then here's Kitty. Is she drinking? You assume they're all having champagne, right? Because it's a fancy dinner, so you assume they're having champagne. And so, why not? 13-year-olds drink too. So, all right. And so, Professor Xavier says, Colossus says, have you opened all your presents, Kurt? He says, I'm not sure, Peter. Not quite, Kurt. There seems to be one left, that black box. So he's talking about this one here. And I love this rendering of him right there. It's beautiful. Thanks, Professor. It looks as sinister as it does stylish. A package after my own heart. Do you think it's from Scott? We haven't heard much from him since he left us. And so, of course, that was on the last video we covered. Wow, a crystal figurine of myself, he says here. So, um, it blends a little bit with his hands here. I probably would have colored it mostly blue as opposed to leaving it white. And then it doesn't help that they put white on the background. Perhaps they could have colored all of that yellow, or I don't know, like a different effect, so that there's not as much confusion. But because here, when it's big, you can tell, but when you read it in comic book size, it can get lost. And so, Kurt, it's beautiful. That that it is, Ororo. No, no card though. Nothing to tell us who it's for. And all of a sudden, he screams as it actually breaks. And you can see it kind of goes right into his face here, and he falls. The statue exploded, and the blast caught Kurt full in the face. Kurt, are you alright? Kurt, yells Colossus. But he is about to take a tumble here. Wolverine, anything, as he's checking him. Not a peep, Professor. We better get him to the med lab fast. And so, man, what does Xavier do? Is all this just from his fortune? Because, goodness gracious, you think that, by the way, if Bruce Wayne really was spending that much money as Batman, he would go broke. It is quite something. So, place Nightcrawler on the examination table, Colossus. Storm, would you please assist me? The rest of you, wait outside. We'll bring the word as soon as we've learned anything. You know, Xavier is not a medical doctor, but excellent, Storm. You're better with this equipment than I thought you'd be. The legacy of misspent youth, Professor. Though as a child thief in Cairo, I was more familiar with electronic burglar alarms than medi scanners. So we are now sitting in the living room here, and we see Colossus pacing, Wolverine having a beer, and Kitty's just chomping on popcorn. How 13-year-old of her. So Colossus says, Storm and Professor Xavier have been in the medical laboratory for such a long time. I hate this waiting. I need to do something, anything. Kurt is my friend. I want to help him, but I do not know how. And Xavier, oh sorry, Storm pushes Professor X here, says, Kurt is beyond our help, Peter. We did all we could, but despite our best efforts, he could not respond to the treatment. And Wolverine's like, Nightcrawler's dead? And Colossus is like, no. Just, I love that. To you create a panel normal size and just let them know smaller in there. Oh, he is no longer alive. And you can see Wolverine crushing the beer bottle. Kitty's looking down, and of course, now we have the opposite, the big no here. No, with the thing all disordered here. So, and so Wolverine says, "Are you sure, Charlie? Maybe your machines were on the fritz." And Storm, obviously, she's heartbroken as well. And here you can see Colossus holding on to Kitty. We've covered that Wolverine, the professor telepathically mind scanned Kurt, but received no response. Kurt's mind, his soul, his essential life force is no more. And you can see Xavier here. Excuse me for a moment, X-Men. There are telephone calls, certain special arrangements I must make. What killed him, Aurora, and who and why? Asked Wolverine. I don't know. We found no evidence of any organic or inorganic toxins, no sign of a psionic attack. That accursed statue blew up, and our friend died, she says. We gave the package every conceivable test to try to find some clue to its origin. We were wasting our time. Some leader of the X-Men I am turning out to be, says Storm. So, of course, Storm was promoted to leader of the X-Men after Cyclops had left. I truly love this version of Storm. Actually, Storm, after Wolverine, because everybody loves Wolverine, Storm is one of my favorite characters. Another one whom I really like, pre followed or pre Mutant Massacre's Angels, because I love those massive wings, particularly when Walt Simonson drew him the one time in X Factor number 10. He gave him this ginormous wings. I thought they were just so cool. And then they frigging took him away. And then they made him into Archangel, which was kind of cool, but it just, yeah, I wish, I, in hindsight, I wish they would have done away with that whole, um, Archangel thing. So, anyway, the doorbell rings because Kitty makes a mention of it. Guys, the doorbell's ringing. And Storm again is thinking, one of us is murdered before our eyes, and there seems to be nothing we can do about it. And Kitty goes, never mind, I'll get it. You can just see a 13-year-old just with that attitude. So I never liked Nightcrawler much. He was always nice to me, but he looks so weird. Without meaning to, he gave me the creeps. But now I wish I'd like him more, she says. I wish he wasn't dead. And she's like, oh. And we see this creep, which we know who it is. So, good evening. My name is Stephen Strange. I am a physician. I believe I'm expected. Oh, and then behind him, it's all right, Kitty. Dr. Strange is here at my request. That's Professor X. It's good of you to answer my call so quickly, Stephen. Your message sounded urgent. No need to hide, young lady. I'm a friend, really. Now remember that Marvel has retconned all this, that the Illuminati, which Xavier and Doctor Strange have been a part of. So they are not, pardon the pun, strange to each other. And Kitty here, love her face, just like, whoa. Peter, look! Did I startle you, Kitty? My apologies. I simply canceled the illusion spell that makes my sorcerer's garb appear as normal clothes. Spells? I thought you were a doctor, says Wolverine. I was, Wolverine. I am, but I'm also master of the mystic arts. So, Doctor Strange continues, those are the skills required of me tonight. Charles, Professor Xavier, can find no physical or psychic cause for your friend's condition. I'm here to determine if he was struck down by a mystic attack. And so we can see Nightcrawler's body down here. If arcane forces are at work here, my amulet, the awesome eye of Agamotto, yeah, will tell me. And of course, he thinks here, using my amulet has become almost second nature to me. Yet no matter how often I call upon its power, I still feel the same sense of wonder I felt the day my mentor, the Ancient One, placed it in my charge. The day I lose that feeling, the day I become so jaded that I know that I take my power for granted, is the day I will no longer be worthy of my dread responsibility as Earth's mystic defenders. You can see him using the eye here to scan Kurt. Fascinating. At first glance, as I assumed Nightcrawler to be some human-demon hybrid. Yet, the all-seeing eye, light of truth, reveals him to be human in essence. So essentially, some people were thinking that. So this is Claremont's way of telling people, no, he's a mutant. He's like you and us, just with, the ability to teleport, and it just looks freaky. But hey, it also reveals that the youth is under an enchantment. His soul has been stolen. You can see his eyes getting big. And so, sorcery is at work here, my friends, a power that rivals my own. But although it is a hostile power, one fueled by great hatred, it does not seem to be consecrated to evil, says the good doctor here. Despite appearances, Nightcrawler is not dead. His physical body is in a state of suspended animation, but his spirit has been torn from him. So long as body and soul are kept apart, he cannot truly die, but neither can he truly live. My mystic eye, it senses another presence in this room. By the hoary hosts of Hoggoth. I love those things. The moment I began to work, I cast a spell of protection around the lab, he thinks, and the entire house, yet now some power entity passes through it almost contemptuous ease. I must be on my guard. And so here we can see here, behind me, X-Men. He commands. If this is an attack, I will deal with it. Who are you, spirit form? Why are you here? Speak, woman, if woman you truly be. Doctor Strange commands it. And so she says here, none commands Margali of the winding road. You are known to me, mage, she says. Do you make the X-Men's cause your own, she says. And I love the screen tones being employed there. I do, says Doctor Strange. Release Nightcrawler, sorceress, or suffer the consequences. And she says, a proud challenge. A challenge accepted. You can see here these, whatever these tendrils are. So, a challenge accepted, but if any are to suffer in this duel, Doctor Strange, it will not be me. And so, Doctor Strange says as these things go to grab him and the X-Men, my spells are not stopping it. A netherworld demon. And Wolverine's like, Colossus, armor up. This sucker is dragging us toward the Witch Queen. And you can see Kitty, Professor, and Storm just shocked at what they're seeing. And Colossus had his armor under his clothes like any good superhero. He rips him apart. And I love the Wolverine in yellow here, popping his claws, snicked. I for one ain't inclined to go, he says. So, and you can see Storm is trying to take Kitty and Xavier out. It will be our turn next. I must get you two out of here, says a Storm. And so you can see it grab Storm here. You can see the eyes. Storm, look out, that creature. And Kitty yells, Ododo. And you can see Xavier trying to hold on. Kitty, take my hand. Oh, sorry. Take my hand. Kitty, help me. Perhaps together we can pull Storm free. Professor, don't. The monster will get you too. You must escape. Let me go, she yells out. Never. Defiant, boastful, and virtually worthless. I'm using my mental powers to have met my physical strength, and I'm still not gaining any ground. The strain is becoming unbearable, but I must hold on. I must not fail my children. And you can see her just, I love this here. Goddess, help me. I feel as I'm being torn in half. Monster, freezing my body and soul, leeching my strength. I can't concentrate enough to use my elemental powers against it. And suddenly she's snatched away. Storm, screams the professor. The creature pulled her out of my grasp, and the door slams, and you can tell by the big slam that is being here, and apparently quite loud. And Kitty says, up to the moment the door slammed shut, the witch lady was cackling her head off. I can't hear her anymore. I can't hear anything. Kitty, get away from there, commands the professor. Okay, Professor, after I've taken a quick look-see of the lab. Back in a flash. No, he yells. Kitty, come back. You don't know what's in there. And he uses his telepathy on her. Must reach her telepathically before it's too late. Catherine Pride, return to me at once. You're untrained in your powers. If you run into serious trouble, you might not be able to cope. And she says, out of my head, Professor, as she opens the door. And quit yelling, will ya? It hurts. All I wanted to do was see what happened to Ororo and the others. I was trying to help you, to act like a real X-Men. They're gone, Professor, all of them. Ororo, Wolverine, Peter, Kurt, the Doctor, gone. Like they were never, like they'd never even been here. What did that Margali and her pet monster do with them, Professor? Where did she take the X-Men? So we are about to find out, because this is an annual, so it doesn't continue next issue. It continues here. So we got this creepy looking cave here in the mountains, and we've got Dante's Inferno here. Abandon every hope, ye who that enter. So that's from Dante's Inferno. And here we got the um, X-Men and Doctor Strange at the bottom. And so here's also Nightcrawler. Was he here? Oh, yeah, there he was. I did not see Nightcrawler the first time. So, all right. Um, Wolverine starts getting up. To coin a phrase, ouch, that was one trip I could have done without. Is everyone all right? Says Storm. Asks Storm. And Colossus is like, no serious injuries, Storm, only aches and pains. Comrades, look, Nightcrawler is breathing, moving, he is alive. And Doctor Strange thinks here, by the eternal Vishanti, that gate, it can't be. So he's concerned. So um Storm says, the air is so foul like a charnel pit. It must be 2024. Because, man, we are destroying this planet faster than, oh my goodness gracious, I don't know if we're ever gonna, we are polluting and destroying this planet, people. C'est la vie. I can only do what I can do. I cannot save the planet. You can't save the planet. We can just do our little parts and try to help how we can. So, all right, I'll get off my high horse here. Where are we? Asks Colossus. And Doctor Strange says, would you believe hell? But he uses quotations, so I don't think he thinks that they're in hell. And Wolverine's like, what? Or, huh? And here's Nightcrawler like, what happened to me? And so this is the gateway to hell, as described by the 14th century Italian poet Dante Alighieri in his classic poem The Inferno, also known as Dante's Inferno here. That epic chronicled Dante's descent into the pit and his eventual meeting with Satan himself. It seems we're expected to follow his steps here. So the gate opens, my friends. Margali must be eager to see us, says Colossus. And Nightcrawler thinks here, it's me Margali wants. Maybe she hates, sorry. Okay, it's me Margali wants. Me she hates, sorry. Why did she involve the X-Men? Well, because they tried to rescue you, dummy. And Storm says, what lies on the other side, Doctor? If memory serves me right, Storm, the river Acheron. Brace yourselves, X-Men. Nothing in your experience can compare with what you are about to face to survive, much less triumphs. You will need all your strength, your courage, your humanity. And Wolverine is like, what else is new? So I'm glad that the X-Men had their costumes inside too, because it must be unstable molecules. Maybe they use that too. So, and Wolverine comes in and says, give me a break, Doc. You call this a river? It stinks like sewer. Looks like one too. Again, must be 2024 here. Comrade Doctor, where do we go from here? How do we get out of this place? Asked Colossus. According to Dante, the only way to leave hell is to descend to the very bottom. So again, Doctor Strange is not convinced that this is hell here, he says. But is this truly hell? It is nothing like the place where I fought for the life and soul of my disciple Clea. Then again, who says it has to be? Not for nothing has Satan been called the Prince of Lies. So here is Fairy. Woe to you, wicked souls. Hope not ever to see the sky. And Wolverine's like, nice welcome. Doc, I ain't normally given to fits of caution, but how's about we all make an instant U-turn while we have the chance? And so Doctor Strange says, there's nothing I'd rather do, Wolverine, but I'm afraid that's impossible. I must learn the spell that brought us here before I can counter it and return us home. For the present, we must play this game by our host's rules. Goddess, the boatman's eyes, his eyes. I am Charon, or Charon, or something. I come to bring you to the other bank, into eternal shades, into fire and frost. Though that art living souls take themselves apart from that is dead, or share his fate. I'm sorry, that was confusing as hell. What if you don't want to get in the boat? What if you say, nah, no thanks, I'll just wait out here? Him that is dead, he means Nightcrawler. uh, says Colossus. The choice is simple, X-Men. Leave your friend and live, or stay and face the torments of the damned. And Wolverine says, "We've already made that choice, dog. We stay. We'll fight. We'll win." That's the attitude, Wolverine. So off they go, and um, he's to the other side here. We part, mortal fools. This is the place where you will be judged and punished according to your manifold sins. And once condemned, there is no appeal, no escape. Farewell, children of man. We shall not meet again. And Wolverine's like, fine by me, bub. And so here they come, and we meet the devil himself, or Al Pacino, one of those two. So, what are nice people like you do in a place like this? Who? His name Colossus is Minos. So no, not the devil. And despite his appearance, he is guardian of the gates of hell. You are not as Dante described you. Times change, compadre. Algari saw me in terms of his world. You see me in terms of yours. Consider it, huh? I'm a wee bit surprised, though. We expected one new arrival, Kurt Wagner, or Nightcrawler by name, swashbuckler by trade, damsel saving a specialty. I love the tooth gleaming here. Not that I mind. You understand, in this business, as the saying goes, the more the merrier. So, you're all friend of Kurt's, says whatever this demon's name is. And Doctor Strange says, these are the X-Men. I am Doctor Strange, master of the mystic arts, sorcerer supreme of Earth. Nightcrawler is under my protection. And the demon says, how nice. It's been a while since I've seen a foxy, a lady as you, my darling. Yum. And Storm, you can see in her face. Goddess, his look is touched like being caressed by maggots, and yet something in me finds this obscenity attractive. So, and the demon says, you ain't so bad yourself, Kurt. Do you mind if I call you Kurt? A fine figure of a lad, he says. You'll like it here. We will like having you, he says. So, you all look shocked, don't be? This is hell. Anything goes, he says. And Wolverine thinks here, Ororo and Kurt look like that Minos creep just turned their souls inside out. I've never seen them so shaken. I ain't standing for this anymore, or for any more of this. Now to business, says the demon. You know, of course, why you're here, Kurt, my lad. You've been a naughty boy. You've broken the moral laws laid down by your upstairs. Shame on you. And so we have this vertical panel here. It's my job. No, I lie. It's my pleasure to, shall we say, make the punishment fit the crime. In your case, both are considerable. So, bon voyage. So this another tendril comes through. Oh, I just noticed the fingernails. Very cool. So that tendril grabs him. Bon voyage, and Nightcrawler screams, no. A tentacle from beneath the throne grabbing me and throws him out. And so Storm is like, nope. And she grabs him by the tail. I got you, lords of earth and air. And she says, this pit, so vast, it seems to go on forever. How many poor souls are here spending an eternity? So, yeah, that does look... That's pretty cool. What? Storm? Do not fear, my dear friend. I have you. The winds here are good. We'll have you back at Minos' palace in no time. And suddenly the wind comes up. A hurricane. Where did it come from? The air was completely under my control a moment ago. Must hold on to Kurt. If I lose him in this tempest, I may never find him again. And Nightcrawler yells for her. And here you can see the depiction of other people kind of flapping in the wind. I see, Kurt. Now be silent. I need all my concentration for the task at hand. The wind is driving us towards that cliff. We'll be smashed to a pulp. I have to fight free. And so, just holding him by the tail. Almost there. A little more effort, and as something's coming from behind her. And here come harpies, an entire flight of them. The odds are bad, and they seem able to fly easily here. Um, so she's using her lightning. I can't let them get close enough to use those spears, she says. Nightcrawler, cover my back. Nice idea, but the more energies needed to battle the harpies, the less is available to turn against the winds. We're being driven towards that cliff. On my own, I could lose the harpies, but Kurt acts like a drag, she thinks here. Limited by my speed and maneuverability, I have to cut him loose somehow. Of course, she thinks. I almost forgot he can teleport to safety, but to do that, he has to be able to see his destination. I have to, I have to punch a tunnel of clear air through the hurricane between us and Minos Palace. The Sky Witch is weakening, sisters. Kill her, says one of the harpies. And so, so she, so here he goes. I guess he teleports here. Um, Now that takes care of Kurt. Now to save she was gonna save myself, and she screams here, and she gets lost in this hurricane here. Because I'm not gonna read all that, so we'll just let you know she gets lost. So, Doctor Strange is saying some kind of spell here, and the demon here is like, Minos here. If you say so, Doc. That injunction got Dante through the pit with his hide intact. It'll do the same for you, maybe. He was invited by upstairs. You weren't. And so Colossus says, Wolverine, Doctor, look, Nightcrawler. And he's like, I've never teleported so far, nonstop, almost didn't make it. I feel so weak. It's effort and effort just to breathe. And Nightcrawler is like, Storm, where is she? She said she'd follow. Love this part here of the panels where you see Colossus and Nightcrawler's foot kind of sticking off panel. That's pretty cool. Saying is one thing, doing is something else. She's below in whatever circle that's appropriate for her. She'll be there forever unless someone gets her out, he says. So Colossus says, wherever Storm is, Gatekeeper, we shall find her. Whatever the odds, we will set her free. Nightcrawler is thinking here. No, dear merciful Lord, no. I know what I did. If you wish me punished more than I have already been punished myself, so be it. But not Storm, not here. Not because of me. Please. So Nightcrawler obviously believes he has done something worthy of hell. But Wolverine is like, that tears it. And so, love this here. I'm tired of you, bub, and your smear me voice and your sleazeball act. Like my pal Petey says, we're going after Ororo. For your sake, she better be alright. Because if she ain't, you and me are going to meet again. Only then I'll be mad, real mad. And what'll happen to you just won't bear thinking about. And he's like, are you threatening me, little man? Everybody says little man. Yes, Wolverine is supposed to be very short, by the way. So the little man pun. It's just Wolverine's not drawn like what he is. Wolverine's supposed to be like 5 feet. But, so imagine Alexa Bliss with the body of, say, like Batista. That's Wolverine. So, and Wolverine, and I love this here. Yup. Want to make something of it. And so he says, this ain't your fight, Doc, but we could sure use your help. You seem to know your way around this place. Will you join us? Asks Wolverine to Doctor Strange. My dear Wolverine, I wouldn't miss it for the world, says Doctor Strange. And so Doctor Strange thinks here, something doesn't fit here. Despite appearances, I get no psychic sense of fundamental evil. And of all places, hell should reek of that. But if this isn't the true hell, then where are we? What power rules here? That Margali woman. And why does she hate Nightcrawler so? And so off they go here. They're complaining about all this weather. Wolverine says, I'm picking up a faint trace of storm scent. It seems to lead straight on. I don't think she's around here. And so, um, Wolverine behind you, this this lion creature with probably snakes. Anyway, uh, bad move, Pooch, as Wolverine cuts it and Storm tries to pick it up. I've been aching for a chance to use my claws since we hit this berg. Here's my chance. You learn some manners, Bowser. I think this is before Mario Brothers. He ran away. Consider the opposition, Colossus. I'm hardly surprised, says Doctor Strange. He'll think twice before hassling us again. Let's hope he spreads the word, says Wolverine. And so, again, with Doctor Strange's thoughts. We're doing well thus far. Too well. I don't like it. Are we that good, or are we simply being lured to our deaths like lambs to the slaughter? I like lambs. I don't eat them. So, and so we see all these creatures here suffering. And Wolverine says, with my temper, I could end up in that swamp when I die, or somewhere worse, lower down. Something to think about. I ain't ashamed of what I've done, though, and what am I, and or what I am. Whatever comes, I'll handle it. I'll survive. So, meanwhile, Doctor Strange just doesn't want to look. So, what, Doctor? Is that a city? Says Colossus. It is this. Beyond lies another hell. So, prepare yourselves, my friend. What we've seen before is nothing compared to what lies ahead. Nightcrawler, I do not mean to pry, but the time has come for answers. Who is Margali? Why did she bring you here? And Nightcrawler says, what better place to punish the man who killed her firstborn only son? His own beloved brother thinks, well, the first part out loud, and then his beloved brother, he thought. You did no such thing, says Colossus. I did what had to be done, what I had promised. If I had to do it over again, I would. And so, Colossus like, the misfit, a murderer? No flaming way. He ain't telling the whole story. If he killed Margali's kid, there had to be a reason, thinks Wolverine. Where do we go from here, Doc? Feel free. Feel the heat of those walls. I'd be more comfortable standing in front of a open blast furnace. So, Wolverine said, and Wolverine continues here. You flew me down that first cliff. You carry us over the city. Possibly. It depends on it. And you can see here this spears coming toward them here. X-Men, we are under attack as Colossus stands in the way of it. That's what I was afraid of, Strange says. A demon horde defending the walls. They will not voluntarily let us pass. Why? All right. And so Wolverine says, no problem. We'll simply persuade the ugly suckers to get out of the way. Pour it up there, Crawler. Colossus, fastball special. Throw me after him. Let's go. And so off they go. It won't be easy, Wolverine. We face an army, says Doctor Strange. Foes without number, and although their flesh can endure these red-hot walls, ours cannot. Still, we have to try, they say courageously here. So, off they go, fighting. And so we have Nightcrawler's thoughts here. Must teleport to the ground before I build up too much velocity, or landing will injure, perhaps kill me. I think we have Doctor Strange here now, his thoughts. We barely escaped with our lives. This infernal heat drains strength and life from us, and the slightest touch of these walls causes severe burns. And out loud he says, Wolverine, I have you. Much obliged, Doc. And so he says, so much for that idea. Anyone else got suggestions? I'm out. I think that's Wolverine. We can attack that wall again, says wait. I'm sorry. I'm going by where these things are leading. Um so I think this first person, the first one was Doctor Strange, and Wolverine says we can attack that wall again, and Nightcrawler says that's suicide, but this letter is going toward Nightcrawler, so I apologize. So we will not have to, says Colossus. I have found us a gate. I don't understand. It should be open. Be patient, comrade. It will be. And that is just amazing here. As he just, and the magenta, just how hot he is. That's amazing. The demons, they are fleeing. They seem terrified of me. I wonder why. And so Doctor Strange thinks here, because according to Dante, only one being could open these unholy gates by force. Colossus may have a pure, noble spirit, but he is still only human. In the true hell, he should not have been able to smash these gates. So the whole thing that we're getting through Doctor Strange is that he is not in hell. So, and there is a place in hell called Malibog. So Chris Claremont's telling us all about Dante's Inferno, which I am just gonna skip here because this has already been 40 minutes, and I don't want to be here, 2 hours. So Colossus says, "Will it never end? Such horror, such cruelty. I never dreamed. If believing in your God, Nightcrawler, means accepting the existence of this place, I am now glad I was raised an atheist." Of course, Colossus is a product of Soviet Russia, which was an atheist country. So, Nightcrawler says, "Do not be so harsh, Peter, so quick to judge. Hell is a balance by heaven, and those who come here deserve their damnation." And Wolverine says, "Storm's here somewhere, bub. You think she deserves this? Blast! This pit stinks so much I can't isolate Odoto's scent. I am glad as well that I cannot cry in my armored form, or my heart would crack from weeping." So, tell us about Malabulge, will you, Doc? Maybe that'll give us some kind of a lead. And so, I wonder if this is related to Todd McFarlane's character Malebolgia. I wonder if he named it after this. And so, Doctor Strange says, "As everywhere else in hell, the lower you go, the more heinous your crimes, the worse your torment. Here you'll find panders and seducers, flatterers, summonists," and then of course it tells you what a summonist is, frauds and con artists, hypocrites and thieves. "What? Thieves?" says Wolverine. "Yes, the seventh Bolgia. That's it. That's got to be it." Of course, he knows because Storm was a thief. "Wolverine, where are you going? Haven't you guys figured it out? When Odoto was a street urchin in Cairo, before she developed her mutant power, she was a beggar and a thief." And Colossus is like, "Wait for us." But Wolverine goes ahead too late. And so they get there. No sign of Wolverine. Could he be down there? The people are fleeing from those serpents. Why don't they fight them? Even barehanded, they number more than enough to destroy those monsters. And if Storm is in that crowd, how will we find her? "I see her, Peter. I see her. Luck for us. For once, I'll port her down." "Storm, Odoto, it's me, Kurt. I've come to rescue." "No, no," he says. So something's going on, and we got her just, oh, poor thing. "What? Crimson energy bands. I can't move." And it was Doctor Strange drawing her out. "Oh, Storm, what has happened to you?" "What I most feared, my young friend. This hardinet is not Odoto, though she wears her clothes." Not where is which. Answer. Oh. Where is she? Okay, where is she, witch? I'm sorry. "Answer me," says Colossus. "Tell us what you've done with Storm, or by all I hold dear, I..." "Leave her be, Petey. She only did what comes natural in this place. You want Odoto? Here she is." And so he's holding this, and he's petting her. Oh, that's awesome here. So, some serpents burn their victims to ashes. Others merge with them, becoming part human, part monster. Others, with their bite, transmute their victims into serpents and themselves into people. So it must have been with Storm, says Doctor Strange. we're just basically getting it spoon fed to us because we only have so many pages to go. So Chris Claremont has to tidy this up. That is why no one fights the Serpent's Colossus, because they cannot win. How do we change her back? Doc asks Wolverine. Are you sure this is truly Storm? Sense right. Feels right. I'll guarantee it. Then let her bite that woman, and may the Vishanti have mercy on both their souls. And so you can see here Nightcrawler turning away, and Colossus watches, but he's in pain, and Wolverine is like, so. There, my child. It's all right. I melted, and so I know you're all right, Ororo. Getting there slowly but surely. So off they go, and we continue here, and so we get to another level of hell. We're just gonna kind of start moving and wrap this up here. There's a big sheet of ice, and Colossus, you can just see him. He's had enough. Busts free from it, and so Magnificent says Doctor Strange. So Nightcrawler's very cold. They're trying to keep him, but Colossus would be the worst because the metal would be very cold, and so they believe this is the devil, but they know that it is not the devil. It is Margali. So I am Margali, she who walks the winding road. How came you here, and why? I brought them, mother. And so I deceived them into thinking you were responsible. I hope they could stop you from committing a terrible wrong. And he says, Jermaine, from destroying the man I love. So be it. You defy me. Now pay the price. And he turns her daughter into an ice crystal. So she's mad that Nightcrawler killed her son, but her only daughter, she has no problem turning her into an ice crystal. So Doctor Strange says, stay back, X-Men. This is my kind of fight. The woman is not evil. I'll stake my life on it. Why is she doing this then? And so the two kind of get into a cosmic fight, and Nightcrawler says, enough. No more. And so he says, in the end, you can end this, Kurt. Yield and your friends are free to go. My quarrel was never with them, only with you. And Doctor Strange is like, you need not do this, Nightcrawler. I am pledged to protect you. And he says, I'm not worth it. I yield, Margari. Do with me what you will. An eye for an eye, Kurt. Your life for that of the son you foully murdered. And so he just looks, poor guy. He just looks so defeated. And Colossus is like, he murdered no one. You try my patience, armored one. Stand aside. He braved hell to save my friend. Your threats, death itself, hold no terrors for me, witch. And Colossus says, he is innocent. Kurt would never deliberate murder anyone. And she says, he told you that, no doubt, and you believed him. I know differently. And Doctor Strange says, do you seek justice, Margali, or vengeance? And Margali answers, justice, mage. And so the Ayagamato, and she is powerful, so she actually summons it, and he's like, whoa. And so they're going to use the eye here, and so they're going to reveal here. And so these two become blood brothers here. You can see Nightcrawler. We're blood brothers now, Stefan. Yes. And I fear the dark side of my soul. Swear to me, Kurt, if ever I turn evil, if ever I take an innocent life, you will kill me. And so you can see here that that woman had raised him. Sorry, I kind of skipped this. That woman had raised him. And this is her son, and she raised Kurt as if he was his. And eventually he did. So Kurt thought it was all a joke, but he really truly did. And so when he was a teenager, he did have to end up fighting him, and he snapped his neck, killing him. And you can see here how distraught he is. And so sorry. So we're almost done here. So he killed him, snapping his neck, says, Kurt hadn't meant to kill him, but he had slain his brother nonetheless. He kept his vow, and it had broken his heart. And he was returning to camp to tell Magari what he had done. When the villagers found him, they assumed him to be a demon who'd slaughtered their children. Professor Xavier saved him from summary execution, invited him to join the X-Men. Kurt accepted. So that is why they were chasing him in the village. So he was returning. So on X-Men #1, that's the reason. Chris Claremont kind of retconning things a little bit. So the X-Men show up back at the X-Mansion here, and Kitty says, Professor, they're back. Nightcrawler's with them. He looks okay. But who are those weird women? And so she kisses Nightcrawler in the forehead here. Stefan, my son, my poor, proud, foolish boy. Why didn't you confide in me? I could have helped you, saved you. Kurt, my son, I hated you with all my heart. I was wrong. I am sorry. To punish you, to make you suffer as I had. I created a facsimile of Dante's hell to be your eternal prison. What a waste. I cannot forget that you slew your brother, but now I understand why. I can and do forgive you. Farewell, my son. We will meet again soon, for we have much to catch up to do. So, and so, bye, Mom. Hi there, sexy. Remember me? I couldn't forget you if I tried. That's nice. And you almost got us killed, kid. Wolverine, hush. So it turns out that it's Amanda Sefton here. So and of course everyone was like, it's your girlfriend. So Amanda, of course, has been in a few with the X-Men that I covered a Marvel team up with Spider-Man, and she was in there. So that's, which is also his sister. Well, not biologically. So, all right, and so we get our happy ending, and the X-Men are victorious again. And so we are in the last page here. And Doctor Strange thinks, incredible, a family of gypsy sorcerers, the son evil, the daughter good, the mother an enigma, whose power and ability rival my own. I must learn more of this. And Kurt says, I love you, Jermaine, always have, always will. I get that impression. And he says, I'd be more, he whispers here, I'd be more demonstrative about it, but I don't want to set a bad example for Kitty. So, all right. And so Wolverine says, speaking of the kid, she looks pretty out of it. Ain't hardly surprising. She's shy. She doesn't know where she stands yet, apart from the X-Men or a part of it. That's a real lonely place. Hey, Pumpkin, what you doing over there with Chuck? You should be over here with us. You're an X-Men, ain't ya? Huh? Am I? I guess suppose so. Wow. So very young. So we get our stuff here, kind of the whole group. But I love this here. Peter's wonderful. Of course, these two have a relationship. Keep in mind she's 13. He is an adult. But hey, it's the 80s. So apparently, society was a little different by then. So we end here with Dr. Strange saying, your students have a right to celebrate, Charles. In Margali's facsimile hell, they face the ultimate in despair and emerge triumphant. They are heroes. And Professor X says, they, my dear Stephen, are the X-Men. The end. So, X-Men Annual #4 from 1980. Chris Claremont, John Romita Jr. with Bob McLeod on the inks. Like and subscribe. Thanks for listening, and I apologize that this was so long. Bye.